You are back here again. This is the Underground Reaction. Got another video we're going to react to here. This is, of course, late breaking news. You know, Keefe D was arrested in the murder of Tupac Shakur and the shooting of Suge Knight, 1996 in Las Vegas. Everybody knows the story. Everybody already knows the history, knows the details. There's so much content that's been put out on it. We're not going to really touch on that. What we're going to go do right here is Suge Knight did an interview with TMZ today. I met Suge a couple times in my life, prematurely signed to the row back in 2002, 2003. He went back to prison immediately, got shelved, the rest is history. But anyways, done a lot of history on this since 1996. I've paid attention to everything that's gone on. I have my own spin, my own take on this from all the evidence and just the stuff that I've seen, okay? But we're gonna play this video right here of Suge Knight reacting to Keefe D being arrested for this and what he had to say, and then I'm gonna start and go in on it, okay? Peep it out. If you ain't seen it yet, here it is.
Expected to be solved is, of course, a huge step closer to being solved. The arrest in the Tupac Shakur murder, 27 years later, really shocked everyone last week, and we still have questions about why now. Right. That
why
the police
now?
haven't fully explained.
Because the man who is now charged with the murder confessed in 2008 that he was involved.
And has been saying it very openly in interviews that he handed the gun to a guy named Orlando Anderson, his nephew. And Keefe's story is that Orlando pulled the trigger and shot and fired the shots into the car, which Suge Knight was driving. Tupac was the passenger.
Tupac was killed and Suge.
Now, just a tidbit. This whole time that Keefe D has been out here doing these podcasts and interviews, and the agreement he had with LAPD to get out of the going to jail or getting out of all of his homies getting busted and all that, when they made him supposedly confess to the murder of Tupac, how conveniently that he told a story, everyone that was in the car but him is dead. I've always believed his stories and shit that he tells is twisted and it's a lie. And I've believed that he's taken the blame for a lot of this. It's helped a lot of big name people out, big rappers out. Not only Diddy, who he's said in his interviews, but a couple of others. And nobody's looked out for him, so he says. But this guy was still living pretty good in Vegas. He wasn't on the street. He wasn't homeless or nothing like that. He claimed his big empire came down and all that. Let's just keep going real quick. I don't want this video to go too long.
Was
hit but survived. So everyone was wondering what Suge's reaction is to there finally being an arrest in this case. You would think maybe he would be happy.
If you know
that
Suge, you already know
justice.
well, also, and is he going to?
If you know Suge, you already know what Suge's gonna say, right? He ain't gonna tell. He ain't if they. All right, check it out.
Testify. So I spoke with him a very short time ago, and he is in prison right now. I talked to him when he was on the jailhouse phone and wanted to find out what he felt about the Keefe arrest, and whether he would cooperate in the trial. Tell me what your reaction is to the arrest of Keefe D.
Well, surprise number one, because I didn't think.
Now let's get this out of the way. Everybody knows that Suge Knight is the only witness alive of the people who were shot at and tried, where they tried to murder them. Pac died. He's the only one alive. He knows, but there's a good reason why he won't tell.
Keefe D would never get arrested. Nor do I want to see him get arrested. You know, let's get one thing straight. First and foremost, you know, me and Keefe D playing on the same Power Warner football team.
Now, if you know the whole story, you know that Keefe D went to school with Mob James, with Suge. He went to school with all these guys back in the days before Mob James and them were Bloods and Keefe was Crips in 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th grade. They played Pop Warner football together. They know each other. There's a history there. If you know the story, you know. Let's keep going.
And whatever the circumstances, if he had an involvement with anything, if he didn't have any involvement with anything, who want to see? I wouldn't wish somebody going to prison on my worst enemy.
The DA says that Keefe D was in the car with his nephew, and that presumably his nephew,
the story's been
according to the
bullshit,
DA, is the one that shot Tupac, and that it was done with the full knowledge of Keefe.
Okay, you hear what he said? Now, I've thought for years that Keefe D has lied because I've always felt someone else personally did the shooting. But check this out.
Do they have it right?
There was only 2 people in the car. And Pac not to the...
You hear what he said? There was only 2 people in the car. They've been saying this whole time. Keefe said it was 4 of them, and that he passed the gun to the back. Big Dre didn't want to do it, so Lane took it. Baby Lane, his nephew, Orlando Anderson, took the gun and shot. So for years, this has been the story floating around. Everybody in the street, oh, Baby Lane, Baby Lane. Everybody out there, okay, in Southern California, if you are a rapper and you're a Crip affiliate and you've been in the game 20, 30, 40 years, you know the truth on who killed Tupac. They all know, but they don't talk because the main motherfuckers in power will stomp them out in terms of blackmail them, blackball them. They won't get anywhere. They won't have a life. They won't be able to eat. So they got to keep their fucking mouths shut if they still want to have a spot in the game, because Diddy runs shit, Jay-Z runs shit, Snoop Dogg runs shit. Do we got to keep going down the fucking line? What do all those guys have in common with Pac? At the time of Pac's death, he had beef with the Dog Pound, Snoop Dogg. He had beef with Biggie, with Diddy, legitimate beef. Not some shit that just because somebody dies, it goes away.
Tell the story. I ain't gonna tell the story, but I tell you this. I never had nothing bad to say about Orlando because number 1, he wasn't a shooter. Number 2, he came to my hearing and told to let me go and tell the truth. They still didn't.
Hear what he said? Orlando wasn't the shooter. Keep going.
Let me go.
If you are called to testify in this case,
I wouldn't be.
why not?
Yeah, I wouldn't be.
Why not?
Well, number 1, because I'm not gonna get on the stand and testify on somebody for what?
They seem to.
He said he won't get on the stand and testify against anyone for what? I admire Suge's loyalty to the streets. I admire Suge's loyalty to the game. Think about it. People can say whatever they want about Suge, but he ain't really ever told, right? We've heard stories of Snoop telling, kinds of guys telling. There's paperwork out there on a lot of these rappers. A lot of your favorite rappers, there's paperwork on them. People just don't stick to them because they got status in the game and they got money and power. So they get away with it. But anyways.
Be saying that Orlando was the shooter and Keefe was in on it, that he had full knowledge of what was going down, and it was revenge for Orlando getting beaten up by Tupac and his team at the MGM after the Tyson fight. Is that correct?
No.
Then who shot Tupac?
It wasn't Anderson, so that's all I got to say about that part.
To summarize, you are saying Orlando was not the shooter.
Think about it though, Suge, I admire you, big boy. Got love for you, dog. And thank you for trying to help me out in the music game at the time when we met. I appreciate you and will always have love and respect for you. But right now you're saying you wouldn't get up on the stand and testify against another man, and you never have. But that's you talking without them coming at you saying, hey, we'll cut your 28 years to 5, or we'll let you out tomorrow. You tell us who the shooter was. You tell us what you know. What do you guys think Suge would do? That's a good question. Put it in the comments right there. What do you think Suge would do if they came to him with a deal? You tell us who the shooter was and who was in the car and who was behind it, blah, blah, blah. Tell us who killed Biggie and all that. Because they all know who killed both of them.
Although you won't say who the shooter was, you are not saying whether Keefe was involved in any way in the shooting, and you are saying that if you're called to testify by either side, you will not comply, you will not testify. Do I have that right?
1,000%. I wouldn't go, I wouldn't testify.
Now, on the flip side of it, if they do offer him a deal and he still doesn't take it, I'm going to tell you why that is. Because he knows that the guys that are running everything right now, the Diddy's, the Snoops, the Jay-Z's, all these guys, right? The Dr. Dre's. Him and Pac had legitimate beef with all those guys at the time of the shooting. With Dre, with Jay-Z, with Biggie, with Snoop, with the Dog Pound. Let's keep the shit real. Nobody's talking about that. They had legitimate beef. Keep going.
You know, at the end of the day, free Keefe D.
You know what's really interesting is that he is pulling back from Keefe D's own statements.
Right.
Which is
But I will say, so Suge is saying it wasn't Orlando Anderson, which is something that has been widely believed on the streets.
I never thought it was
and alleged in interviews. Keefe D himself has said it, that Orlando is the person who pulled the trigger, and Orlando Anderson died a couple of years after Tupac did in a separate shooting.
I think everybody else in that car, there were 4 people in that car, and everybody's dead except Keefe.
Right.
You see that? Check this out now. Let's switch it over to Snoop talking about... Oh, wait a minute. That's not what I was doing. Hold on. What the fuck? My phone's tripping here. Whoa. 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 What the hell is that all about? Whoa. I can't even stop this. Hold on.